Hello everyone, welcome back to Open Arms Reactions. My name's Casper Fox, this is Mortius, and today we're back with more Epic the Musical.
Today we are finishing, Casper, our tier listing series. The tier list was literally the first video to go up on this channel besides the supercut. Like this, it's kind of crazy.
Was it?
Yes. Yeah, we uploaded the supercut, and then the second video that went up on the channel once we were, the first video once we were actually monetized was the Troy Saga tier list.
That's nuts. I thought it was the Thunder visuals.
No, it's a wild kind of feeling to be at the end of this. It's almost like I'm having to register the end of an era like for the second time now. But I am really excited because this saga, of course, is an absolute banger, and I am very excited to talk with you about it. Do you have any specific thoughts before we hop into it? I don't really have anything in particular, but...
No, just thank you guys so much for watching along on the tier listing series. It's been dope, and we're still not done with Epic because we probably never will be. But
nope, lots of Epic still coming. We don't even know how long this is coming out after we record it because we've got so much other cool Epic content coming. But no matter what, we appreciate you being here for it. And let's talk about the final 5 songs of Epic the Musical.
Mason, Mountain Lion.
So up first, of course, we have the challenge. Absolutely gorgeous piece of music. It is exceptional. It's, I think, the only reason it doesn't rate higher for me than I'm going to rate it, and don't get me wrong, I'm going to rate it pretty high. The only reason it's not rated even higher than that is just because I feel like typically songs that are a little more back and forth get my attention a little bit more. And so like, it's just the fact that this is, other than like a little bit of Suitor like backing vocals, it's pretty much just like Penelope. And while that's beautiful, and I genuinely don't think it's a detriment to that song. That's not me saying I don't think this song is as good because of that. It's me saying this is why the songs that are above this song are above it, even though I really like this song. The challenge for me goes right next to Legendary, and I think I'm gonna let you talk while I decide which side it goes on, because man, I'm struggling.
Is Legend up there?
Second row S tier for me.
Yeah, I was about to say S tier. Okay, yeah. The challenge is not only one of the best songs in Epic the Musical, it is also a very, very challenging lead.
Yes.
But you can't tell because Anna Lee is probably not human, but there's a lot of jumps into head voice and falsetto. There's a lot of back and forth. The melody is super creative.
So much harder than you think it is.
Suitor response. The change up on the Suitor response is one of the best chants I have ever heard in my entire life.
True.
I am still so disappointed that visuals were spared for the challenge on the stream. I will die on that hill. I think it is an atrocity, and I'm so sad. I understand there's probably some logistics behind it, but I'm so sad we didn't get to see some more canon Penelope and the Suitors. It is also one of the songs that's more beloved by animators and animatics. I've seen so many challenge because and it was saying we saw the same treatment from Suffering. Suffering has like 100 animatics. So for me, combined with Anna Lee's incredible vocal agility with some of the best chanting in the world, bringing back Penelope and the waiting motif is crazy. And also recently, I never fucking noticed that, but apparently Odysseus is chanting Penelope in the crowd. Yeah, I was listening to like a karaoke version. And I was like, wait, what? That's messed up. But yeah, all those, I am putting it between Thunderbringer and Suffering.
Wow, straight into second place. Why is it not? Hold on, it's not letting me put it there. It's not letting me put it. Oh my god. Wow, it really doesn't want that to go there. Wow, it's just fully breaking.
What?
Okay, well, we'll fix it. I don't know why it's breaking. That's supposed to be one more to the left. I don't know why it's doing that the way it is, but I think that's a perfect place for it to go. And honestly, you talking about it, reminding me of like how good the Waiting Return is, that confirms it's still sitting next to Legendary, but yeah, that does get to go just above Legendary for me. So it is going to sit right there, pretty much squarely in the middle of S for me. And while we are transitioning between songs, I'm going to try to fix it on Casper's tier list, but I think that is a perfectly fair place for it to be on both. Let's talk about Hold 'Em Down.
Oh boy.
Hold it down, hold it down, hold it down, hold it down.
Now here is a hell of a song to talk about. Oh man, like this is such a hard placement for me because of course the music and the vocals are exceptional, but the content is really hard to listen to for anyone, but especially for me. This is a really hard one for me. Like, my brain just wants to, like, just be like, well, the vocals and music are an S, and the lyrics are a D, so I'm just gonna put it like an A tier. But even that doesn't feel fair. That feels like an oversimplification of my feelings toward it. Casper, what are you thinking?
Aaron Alexander is one of the best singers in Epic the Musical, and it is insane. Like, it is not insane, but it just shows you to the level of the musical because he has very, very few song parts. Even Little Wolf doesn't really make use of his, like, he's basically having a conversation in that song. There isn't like really anything happening. He has some Paramedes vocals in Keep Your French Close, for example, and some gang vocals, and in Mutiny, obviously, he also sings when Paramedes stabs Odysseus. But here we finally get to, in the very, very end of the musical, just before they kill him off, we finally get to hear what Aaron Alexander is capable of. And unless you listen to Aaron Alexander's solo work, which is highly, highly endorsed, he has some incredible work, and he has this approach to vocals that are, he's always singing with a smile, but then adding a little bit more of the canines to when he gets up there. And obviously it's a great written song, and finding someone able to do that riff up, adding the vocal grid probably was not easy, and especially when you have such a diverse voice with Alexander. Also, Hold Them Down is, well, because this does not go above Thunderbringer for me, but that is also because I honestly don't see Thunderbringer.
Wow.
So Thunderbringer to me, quite honestly, I still don't see it as a villain song. It's more because, like, if you look at the character of Zeus and the character of Antinuous, those are very two. Even if someone would say that they are like that you could definitely classify Zeus as a villain, I don't see him as that. I see him as a weapon.
Okay.
And having I don't want to classify Thunderbringer as a villain song because Antinuous and the actions Antinuous are about to say are completely like villainous. Like it's just pure evil.
Yes.
But Thunderbringer is justice.
Interesting.
That is redemption. That is for the cows are killed, eye for an eye, and the whole thing with Helios, so therefore something has to happen. But nothing has aggravated Antinuous where you can justify what he's doing at all. Absolutely. I can see a world where people justifies what Zeus is doing, even if it's literally just manslaughter.
Yeah.
But
there's
you can
no
to an extent
world
see,
where Antinuous.
but in this world there's nowhere. So for that being that, this is the best villain song in the entire musical, and it's also because, again, just using the suitors as the chant and how they're written is absolutely incredible. So for me, this goes between Charybdis and There Are Other Ways in S tier.
Wow, all right, pump it up to S tier. So we're putting that between Charybdis and There Are Other Ways for you. For me, pretty much the whole time you were talking, I literally just was going like one song at a time, like, do I like it more than you? Do I like it more than you? Do I like it more? And like, I literally just had to go one song at a time because of how conflicting it was. And then finally I got down to like, do I like Just a Man more than this song? A little bit. Do I like My Goodbye more than this song? A little bit. Do I like God Games more than this song? No, I don't think I do. And so it is going to sit right up in the second place of A+ tier. I literally had to like look at and process it one song at a time to be able to confidently say that because of how complicated my emotions are for this song. But yeah, no, I think that's where it stands for me. I think I feel good about that. And again, lyrics are an entirely different conversation. Some people might find me hypocritical for being able to put aside the lyrics for this one and not other ones, but the other song doesn't end with an arrow. All right, let's get to Odysseus. Up next, we have Odysseus. And now, with all of the other songs in this saga being so popular, I don't see this one talked about super frequently, so I actually don't know how hot of a take this is or isn't going to be. But I don't love this song, actually. I'm not the biggest fan. Okay. I think it is incredible from a storytelling perspective.
Agreed.
I think it tells its story really well, but as we've kind of talked about with things like Keep Your Friends Close for me, for you, that storytelling aspect sometimes kind of takes away from it. For me, it doesn't nearly as much. I feel like for a lot of things, the storytelling aspect actually does, like, help increase it a little bit, but this one, like, it just comes on playlists and I'm just like, meh. But as I'm looking towards the bottom, I still enjoy listening to it a lot more than some of these other ones towards the very bottom. So I think this one I can feel pretty confidently about going right in the middle of B tier, just under Full Speed Ahead. I feel this is probably like the most confident I've felt in the Ithaca saga so far about, like, nope, it sits pretty solidly right behind Full Speed Ahead, right above Thunderbringer. I'm so sorry. And yeah, that's where I put it. How about you?
Valid.
So you're not as big of a fan of it either musically.
Well, for me, something that really stood out, I think it's genius naming it Odysseus because all the monster like thingies we have, I think it's really great. Storytelling, as you said, literally what you said, 1-to-1. I think it's incredible storytelling device. Absolutely incredible. I don't really listen to it that much, I must admit. I listened to it a lot when it just came out, but it all just seems like to be this like massive massacre, right? And when I was watching it, I was blown away. I was like, oh my god, this is fucking sick and also so horrifying and da-da-da-da. But then coming back later to it, I honestly feel like Different Beast does a better job at portraying Odysseus as the monster than Odysseus does. And I do not understand. The Odysseus motif is not in this song. And the song is called Odysseus. So you have the Odysseus, but that's a danger motif. There's no Odysseus. Like, that does not appear
That's
at
interesting.
all.
That's a really good point.
Which is like a little, like, it's not like life-changing, but I think it's funny that it's not there. But quite honestly, the ending of Different Beasts, I wish that vibe would have been kept on Odysseus for my personal enjoyment of the song. So for me, it goes right behind Different Beast in B tier.
Okay.
For that, I will say though, I would have put this in C tier had it not been for J, but not J. J Brothers, we've got company.
Yes.
Who play
and
Yuri
I was
and
actually going to mention that I feel like this song has a lot of really good individual elements. Like legitimately, I would almost rate every bit in between, like every individual piece probably higher. Like the beginning is really good. Like 20 years I've suffered sets the tone really well. Telemachus's part is amazing. The way it comes back with the combination of his lullaby with Athena like effects is S tier. Like that moment is one of the hypest moments in the show. Like I guess when this song comes on my playlist, I'm waiting for that moment. And then the suitor vocals are so good. So like there's so many individual pieces that work so well, but just as an entity listening to it from start to finish, I'm just like, all right, when's the next cool part? Like it's like a highlight reel more than an actual good song.
Yeah, but all these elements with Telemachus coming in and the suitor stuff like that, I think they are as cool as they are because of the visuals. If I had just listened to this audio-wise, I would not have enjoyed them as much as I do. The only thing that stand up, other than like the Telemachus part is really, really cool audibly, is the grid in what's his name? Is it Eurymachus? What the? Yeah, Eurymachus, I don't know what his name is, like the Eurymachus. Yeah, well, and that's what brings the song up for me. But I don't listen. It's not like it's not really. It is on my playlist, obviously, but I don't listen to it that much. But again, I think it is a fantastic, if not the best, storytelling device because, like, also Gwendy knocked it out the park with the visuals when it comes to that. And it's hard to separate those because, especially for this one, the only way where we can really tell is like you have these slashes every now and then, but the screams at the end is the only way you can really realize that these suitors are getting slaughtered by Odysseus, right?
Good point.
For me, it goes down there.
Okay. That makes sense. I totally respect that. Pretty similar places. And now we get to the last two songs.
Oh boy.
I can't help but wonder what your world must be.
And so, Casper, I'm honestly really curious for this one, how these are going to go, because obviously these are beautiful songs, and from an objective musical standpoint, I don't think there would be any way for you or anyone else to argue with that. But I also know that, like, you were able to acknowledge that the Underworld was a slightly better musically song. Not saying it's up there with these two, but like, you objectively, you were like, no, the Underworld has more value than the bottom of C tier, but I just can't listen to it. So with the knowledge that these are objectively excellent songs that I know you have an almost impossible time listening to, how do you even possibly put these in a subjective emotion-based tier list?
I'm putting these based on, because like I don't cry from the song. I cry because it's very emotional songs, which is just a positive thing, right? And the thing is that I don't have as much in depth to say about them as I would if I like about the other ones, because as I said, as you said, I've not listened to them a crazy amount because I start bawling every time I hear them. But for Can't Help But Wonder, that holds a very, very special moment, and that is just because of Athena coming back, and you know, we've gotten to know Tegan over the course of this and stuff like that, and it just brings back that like extra layer of like oh goodness gracious, she got to just get her final goodbye. And for me, that actually brings up, because something that I can tell with the Ithaca Saga, right? You can tell that Ithaca Saga was some of the first songs he ever wrote.
True.
Because of how complex and how good, especially with the because I went back to see the snippets to confirm this, right? And the Ithaca Saga was some of the first stuff he wrote. Like way back when Your Light was still on the table and everything like that. Man of the House and whatever it was called was there, and you can tell the Ithaca Saga is such a masterpiece.
Yes.
Possibly a good contender for the most objective, like it's not quite on Thunder, but objectively one of the best sagas musically. But for me, it goes up just between There Are Other Ways and God Games.
Right at the bottom of S. Okay, I respect that. For me, I've gone through kind of a weird development with this one, where like, I do like, from an objective musical standpoint, I think this is one of the best shows in the entire music, or best songs in the entire musical. Like, legitimately, when I first heard it, I was like, this is the best song when it still had recency bias, and I would still put it easily top 5. For reasons I genuinely can't put into words, I feel like just from a personal enjoyment standpoint, it's just slowly petered off for me a little bit. And I don't even know why. I think maybe it's just slower than the music I prefer to listen to. Like a lot, like think about like Keep Your Friends Close, Wouldn't You Like, Warrior of the Mind. These are like all of my like top row of S tier. Even No Longer You, which is a little bit slower, is carried by the momentum of the 3-4, like dun 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 dun. So like, if I was rating it based on first time watching experience, I think it would go second place behind Keep Your Friends Close. But like I said, for reasons that are just so hard for me to put into words, like when it comes on, I'm like, oh, it's the pretty song, and then like by a minute in, I'm like, okay, I've had enough of the pretty song. Like it doesn't hold my love and attention as much, and so I think it's actually going to go in a very similar place to you, right kind of towards the bottom of S tier, just above Just a Man, but behind the absolute vibes of Charybdis and Dangerous. And like I said, I want to be so clear that like I want to rate it higher. I think it's such an exceptional song, but just again, when it comes, like all of Ithaca Saga is on like our Spotify playlist for like the Broadway things, and just when this one comes on, I'm like, oh, it's I Can't Help But Wonder. And then again, every time right around like Miko's verse finishes and Jay starts, I'm like, okay, that was enough of the nice song. This is good. I enjoyed it. And then like at that point, I'm just waiting for Tegan to show up. You know what I mean? And so like just from an enjoyment standpoint, for some reason it ends up a little lower, and that breaks my heart because it truly deserves higher. But this is based on our enjoyment of it, and that's where it goes for me.
And also like Epic the Musical, and I think we mentioned this also, but it's such an incredible fucking musical. So it like it is tough to, because you see different beats at the end of yours and Polyphemus at the end of mine, but they are still such incredible songs. Yeah, legit, right? So it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, 100%. And now we get to finish it off. Would You Fall in Love with Me Again?
Would you fall in love with me again?
This song is gorgeous. This song is beautiful. this song stands out. Like, this is just, it's so pretty. And I think, like, I don't even have too much to say about it because I think it speaks for itself. Like, I don't even know, like, I'm sure you're going to say a lot more about it, so I'm honestly not even going to waste that much time talking about it. For me, Challenge and Would You Fall in Love With Me Again are two sides of the same coin. But, as I mentioned before, I like songs more when there is dialogue between two people, which is why Challenge ended up a little bit lower. And so, Would You Fall in Love With Me actually ends up pretty easily and confidently just one spot above Challenge. Like, it goes right there. The two of them, like I said, are two sides of the same coin. The same way you, earlier in the sagas, I know they've kind of split up since then, but early on, you had Luck Runs Out and Mutiny right next to each other for the same reasons. And for me, like, again, those are just two sides of the same coin. I like Would You Fall in Love With Me very slightly more than the Challenge, but just barely, and I think that pretty confidently sits there. I'm not even really second guessing that. So,
that's
Casper,
fair.
Use your amazing music knowledge to tell us why we love it so much.
So, like, it's not even crazy. It is literally nostalgia. Every single person in the entire world was like, "Oh my god, he finally made it home!" But oh my god, now there's this little conflict here. And using a chord progression approach as he did, and again with these, and dude. The crazy thing is, because as an entity, for me personally, the Thunder Saga is still better musically, but you will see that individually 4 out of 5 songs, because spoiler alert, this is going in S tier as well, but 4 out of 5 songs is an S tier from Ithaca Saga, and it's because this is the perfect example of how you combine storytelling with music. I think it is just peak. It is just incredible. And had this the Just a Man reprise with all the horns and everything like that is some of the most incredible writing I have ever experienced. Like that is just
breaks me every time. It's beautiful.
The fanfares, because that is the moment. That's not the end of the song, but that's the moment people realize he did it. He made it home. It's done. It's over. There's no Poseidon coming anymore.
He's there,
And triumphantly, because we have been known that all the way back in the Ocean Saga, the fanfares, the trumpets were the danger. Poseidon is coming for him. Holy storm, right? It's coming for him. And then we come back, and it's just in this triumphant way that he overcame him.
That's such a good point.
Did it. So once that plays, and then the ending, we finally get that, okay, the lovers are reunited. Let's give them some peace. I love you. This is where, like, you've been standing in the doorway, and then, I love, and then you close the door. And let them have their moment. And finishes off absolute fucking cinema.
So
absolutely incredible. It lands just between Just a Man and My Goodbye. In the S tier.
All right. Let's put that up there. Well,
just because of all the parallels, the melody approaches, the use of head voice and chest voice, incredible. Anna Lee, you goddess.
110%.
But that also so that also means, for me at least, that Thunderbringer is the best song in Epic the Musical for me personally.
That's by far the biggest difference that we've got. By a pretty significant margin. I mean, Keep Your Friends Close is pretty far, or actually, in like, Keep Your Friends Close is pretty far, which breaks my heart, but at least it's still an A+. Like, I guess it depends on whether you're counting, like, number of songs, the distance is almost the same, but like, in like the actual where they are in tiers is much farther for Thunderbringer, so that's crazy. Right. But I think I stand by all of it. I like almost want to like have Mason just like fast forward. I like now want to look at this completely, go like one song at a time and see if I would change anything, because I'm really curious. So Mason, do a cool montage of us making thoughts. All right, Casper, do you have any changes at all that you would make for this?
No. I'm
really?
Confident.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
That's amazing. I have only 2. I think over time, Storm, honestly, believe it or not, is getting bumped down even more. It just doesn't do it that much for me. And I know people are gonna be sad, but like Horse and the Infant, Full Speed Ahead, like maybe it's just the nostalgia of the Troy Saga growing on me, but I think I'm going to bump that down to above Odysseus. But I think Horse and the Infant, and honestly, Horse and the Infant's grown on me a lot. I think even though it's not actually changing the order, I think Horse and the Infant's gonna bump up a little bit. So essentially just like swapping those three around. And then there is one actually that's a pretty big jump. Because it honestly, I will be so transparent, you guys, and as soon as I say this, Casper's gonna know what I'm about to do. But we just recorded a brand new reaction before this one. And I forgot how much I really loved that song. And so I'm fully aware that it's like semi-recency bias, but like as I was looking at it and like we just listened to it and really thinking about like the different aspects of the song and what I enjoy, Puppeteer is going to stay in A+ tier. It doesn't change tier, but it's going to get a huge bump from second to last to second highest. I think it jumps just above Hold 'Em Down. I think it's just barely behind My Goodbye, but I'm like looking at all of those other ones, and yeah, I think Puppeteer gets a big jump up. Other than that, I stand by everything in S tier. I stand by everything C tier and lower like that. That's my epic list. And I took a long time. I don't know like how much Mason's gonna show like the fast forward. I took like 3 times longer than Casper to look at everything. So I can now say with good, real confidence, this is my Epic the Musical tier list. That's and fair. Casper's Epic the Musical tier list. Thank you all so much for going on this journey with us, for this musical that changed our lives, for this tier listing series. Man, what an adventure, Casper.
Jesus. Yeah, shout out Smulio, by the way.
Shout out Smulio, yes. I don't know what order they're going to go in. That's probably going to go up before this one, because I feel like normally we prioritize those, but we'll see. So,
no matter what, it's on Patreon.
Thank you. That is true. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for supporting Epic. Thank you for supporting me. No, thank you for supporting Casper. And as always, greet the world with open arms. Come on, Casper. Come on. Last time. You got it. Woo! And we will see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Bye.